Today is Suicide Prevention Day, and I would like to share my story, which some of you have heard, but it's going off of notes so I don't get sidetracked, and I have short-term memory. So, January 5th, 2017, I had an accident at work. I was on a stool, putting a box up on a shelf, and the stool that I was on, the leg of the stool broke. So the weight of the box that I was carrying made me hit my shoulder and my head, and then I remember my feet going up in the air, and then I landed on my head on the ground. I'm very grateful for, I did call my coworkers, one of them, and she came, and the other coworker came, and I'm so grateful for her because she told me what to do because she knew I had a concussion. I don't know, I just thought I fell, whatever. I'm like happy that my legs could move. So she told me, go in a dark room, lie down, and we'll take care of it. So ended up in the hospital, of course, doing all these scans on my head, and luckily everything was clear. Like, my brain's intact. I had some cervical issues, so I left the hospital with the neck brace. But since then, life has been very difficult. I had to relearn a lot of things because my memory, focus, coordination, and balance and concentration were just gone somewhere in the clouds. I had to learn to read again, and life was very overstimulating. I had severe headaches to the point I had to really focus how to walk, and that happens to this day. If I'm walking slow or if I'm not really paying attention to, I need all that concentration to move my legs forward or do one task. And if I'm in social settings or I need to focus on something, one of the things I do is use earplugs. I just pop them in. I don't know if I said this, if it's too noisy or if it's overcrowded, I just need to eliminate a sensory to help focus. I couldn't drive because it's a motor skill and concentration and all the things that I've been kind of lacking since the injury. So I went to driving school and I did well. I was progressing, and then I plateaued. The driving instructor said, she knows that I would drive safely and I know my limits, but as far as driving like a normal person everywhere all the time, I've kind of plateaued. So I had to stop taking those lessons, but I was very appreciative of it. My brain and eyes, when I get overstimulated, bounce all around. That's why it's hard for me to drive. I'll be like, chair, napkin, newspaper, it's just like boop, 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 boop. That how my brain processes it is how my eyes, absorb everything. It's just too much. So I get this major severe headache, and it feels like a brain freeze. Yeah, you know what a brain freeze feels like. It hurts. So I take some medication or whatever, Tylenol, Advil, whatever. But it sucks. It's hard not to swear while I'm doing this video. So I had to stop working for a year, and I slowly returned, like super slow, like starting off with 2 days a week, 3 hours of that day. So 3 hours a week. And then it gradually went almost till full time, and life started to get slightly better. And I lived in town in Makiki, and so I was able to drive short distances, or if I drive more than 10 minutes or even 5 minutes or a few minutes, I stop and pull over, reset, do breathing exercises, just refocus. Okay, and then start driving again. I don't know, sorry, my short-term memory, I don't know if I repeat things. I lived in Makiki Heights. And so things were going good, and I was ready to tackle all the, the problems. I really zeroed in because I tried to do it without medication. And The doctors gave me pharmaceuticals for the pain and the concentration and the depression. And I had reactions to 4 medications where like my face would get swollen or my throat would get swollen, so I'd end up in the hospital. And then I suddenly developed this nerve disorder called trigeminal neuralgia. It feels like a cavity. So I went to the dentist and I said, oh, I have a killer cavity. I don't know what's going on. And they checked. They're like, you have no cavities. Yay. But they're like, what's that pain? You have to go to a neurologist. And I explained it to my neurologist, and he said it's trigeminal neuralgia and not much you can do about it. I mean, it's like if it's a cold place, if something cold, if I drink something cold, if it's too cold, it'll zap. There's certain things that I know will trigger it. Elevation, going over the poly, through the tunnels, up a mountain. So I don't think I could travel right now. So anyways, my body was rejecting a lot of the medications, and I took Adderall just to, hey, that sounds like something. I don't have ADD, but that's something that can really help me focus. And day 1 from when I took Adderall was my demise. I just wanted to kill myself. It was that simple. I was just so into not being here. And there's about 6 times where I tried to kill myself, but miraculously, it's like divine intervention. I can't even explain it, because every time of those 6 times that I tried to kill myself, it just wouldn't happen. Obviously, like, I'm here. So this is part of my suicide story, which I've never really told the world on YouTube, so it might be difficult for me. I can tell you about 2 of the times. Like, the doctors realized, I was already going to a psychologist once or every other week, so my doctor knew I had to get off the medication, and I did. But within that time, or how it affected me, is just suicide. Peace out. I don't want to be here. This is it. I don't even know how to deal with this, because I'm looking at the stories that I want to tell, and I know the feeling of being in it and how I felt when I was in it. And telling it now is strange because it's from a different point of view. One of them is I used to live in Makiki Heights, and at night there was, kids like to speed around the corners because it's a windy road. They like to drift, So I walked up the hill. Shoot, I'm getting a headache just thinking about it. I walked up the hill with the intention of killing myself by one of those cars. So as I was walking up, 15 minutes, there's no cars. I was like, that's strange, but this is what I'm gonna do. This is totally gonna work. They speed, they go fast. It's just gonna be easy. I had my plan, because it's hairpin turns. So if this is a turn, they'd be coming from here and screech around, drifting super fast. And I was right here where they couldn't see me, in the middle of the road, and ready for the oncoming traffic. So I just stood there, ready, just super driven. That's what I want to do. I must have been there, it felt like an hour, so it's probably less, but there was no cars at all coming either way. And so I was mad, and I'm like, oh, now I want to do it more. I'm ready. I don't know if I should lay down. I don't know if I should stand up. Whatever. I think I'll stand up because it would be more impact. And it didn't happen because no cars came around at frickin' all. And so I eventually started walking back home, but ready, if they decided to just come ripping around the corner, I'm just gonna step in the road. And so that's one of them. I walked home and I was pissed, but then when I got home, I ended up calling a friend because I was pissed and emotionally worked up. And that was that. But one of the times, the last time I tried to do it, I'm passionate about Sherwoods. I'm there on the front lines. So this one is hard because that's the last place I wanted to kill myself. It is the last place I want to kill myself now, but that was my last attempt. And there's not much going on. I was just checking on the construction site, and I parked my car, just walked to the beach, nothing, and then the switch turned on. Hey, I could just do it right here. I could kill myself right here, looking at branches. Oh yeah, well that one looks like it's pretty low, it's pretty strong. I can just hang myself there. So I knew I had the tools in my trunk to do it. I knew if I drove my car under the tree, it'd be easier. And if I put my car a certain way, I just hang myself, no problem. So I was really analyzing the height and how I'm gonna do this. I took my slipper off to mark the space that I need to be. Turn around, there's still no one around. And I really, yes, this is what I'm gonna do. Totally ready, gonna get my car, yeah. I get my car, I turn around to get my car, and there's a cop, HPD, parked right next to me. No one else around. Like, what the frick? So I was like, I was mad, and I wanted to kill myself as mad as there. And that feeling's coming back to me. So I just couldn't do anything, of course. I started pacing back and forth around within probably 20 feet, just really pacing, like, what the frick? What the frick? Where is he gonna frickin' leave? Frick, 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 frick. But not frick, the other word, I was like, I still want to do this. Now I want to do it more. Just like the last time, I want to do it more because I'm being challenged. He wouldn't leave for a while. And then I realized, okay, I look like a crazy person pacing back and forth. So I walked kind of towards the beach, and I walked back to my car. And I sat in my car. I couldn't move. I was just frozen. I'm like super stuck in the depression, frustrated that the cop was right next to me, looking at, there it is, there's my escape, can't do anything. So I just rolled down my window because I couldn't drive. I was just like, what the heck? And rolled down my window. He rolls down his window. He's like, good morning. I'm like, good morning. I'm sitting there, and he says, you okay? And I'm like, yeah. And that's probably how I said it, like half quarter smile. So, and I lived at my mom's house at this point. So there's nothing I can do but go back home. Friends and, since I got off the medication, friends and family had to really come together because my doctor told my family, and my family told some friends, and I told some friends because I was like, okay, I know there's a problem. I moved in with my mom in Waimanalo, and I was on 24/7 supervision. All the knives, everywhere I went with friends and family, the knives were removed. Things that I could hurt myself with, they had to hide. It's silly to me, but I realize there's a problem. And since then, it's been 6 months since I moved out of my Makiki studio and had to stop working. And that breaks my heart because it's a loss of independence. And my job was helping abused kids. So that was my purpose, you know? Just helping kids with like that had severe physical abuse, sex abuse, witness a crime, or stuff like that. It's intense, but I did like the more behind the scenes work, so it wasn't as heavy. But before that, I was a nanny for 9 years, so like kids were my passion, are still, but it's like I feel so detached from that part that brings me life. But of course, Sherwoods gives me life now and a purpose. So anyways, the doctors, my psychologist and psychiatrist, or my psychiatrist says I should see this other doctor, this other psychiatrist. A psychiatrist referring another psychiatrist is a big deal. So they wanted me to do transcranial magnetic stimulation, which is a lot less invasive as the one I'm doing now. So I go to that appointment. Like now I'm like, okay, get me out of this. I'm ready. And with suicide or any kind of depression, you gotta be ready. You really gotta wanna get out of what you're in. And it takes a lot of work and it sucks. But, keep that fire of wanting to live, or not even, it's probably not even at the point where you wanna live yet, but it's just like, I wanna get out of this a different way, not by dying. I wanna get through this and get help. So the transcranial magnetic stimulation doctor, I told him my story, and he's like, ooh, well, I don't think we should do the transcranial magnetic stimulation. I'm going to refer you to the head psychiatrist at Queens. I was like, I thought he was going to help me. So I was like, okay. So I was referred to this doctor, another psychiatrist, and told him my story. He's like, okay, I do electroshock therapy. You cannot be hospitalized because it's just too, you can't be on drugs. So electroshock therapy it's actually called electroconvulsive therapy, but a lot of people know it as electroshock therapy, like that movie. Ugh, one of my favorite movies, I can't even think of the name because my memory. Oh, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Yay, memory. So tomorrow is number 18. Tomorrow I would have done, will be doing and will be getting through my 18th electroshock therapy. And that's some heavy, intense stuff, man. They reset your brain. They induce a seizure into your brain. And I swear, it has completely stopped the suicide motives, and it's helped with the severe depression a lot. Like right now, there's anxiety about moving back home and starting work, and the memory thing is the biggest issue. And I feel a little depression, but I'm aware of it, so I gotta stay on top of it. And that's why I still need a little more supervision, because if I'm alone more than 2 hours, then my distracted because my parents just came home. If I'm home more than 2 or 3 hours by myself, my mind starts going, and that's when the depression kicks in. Short-term memory has been the hardest thing, the worst thing about it.
What?
I'm doing my video. Short-term memory has been the worst part, but the best part is my nurses that help me. And I've lost all but 3 of my friends in town. I used to be very social and went out a lot. And I don't know if it's a lifestyle change because I don't drink anymore or hardly get into town to go out anymore. that, you know, they're just not in the picture anymore. I don't know if it's a stigma of the depression and being through something intense like electroshock therapy, but yeah, those friends are gone. Maybe they're just acquaintance, maybe they're just social friends, but I still consider them friends because I hold them near and dear to my heart, and I will be back to normal years from now. I had about 16 people helping me with rides and supervision, but now it's only 3, and like sporadically I have something here and there. But it's just I need that something to look forward to in the day. Go out to lunch, even if it's driving to get your kids like I did today. It's great, you know, I'm just doing something. I'm not just there with my thoughts. I've gained new friends and reunited with old friends from school. And the purpose, again, like I said, is Sherwoods. So it really gave me a purpose. It's being really connected and saving a forest, that's all. So by the way, I don't want the tours or the development to be at Sherwoods, so shameless plug. But I've been noticing I appreciate nature. I'm taking pictures again, and I'm so grateful for my new and true friends. And again, if you're in a depression, try to get out. It's cliche, like, reach out, I'm right here. But people love you, and I love you too.